Hello ladies and gents. In today's video, I am not going to be doing a new episode this time on my new learning channel, my new learning series show by the way. So check it out if you haven't watched my new episode on my learning series. So today, I am going to be a critic this time, because Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, has already released yesterday. And it sure was, I hear, a smash at the box office. A successful smash. So let's go and take a look. Okay. Alright folks, so here you are. Here's some pictures of Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. That's Godzilla right there in his evolved form. And that's Kong with his new battle glove, along with his battle axe. And I must warn you, there could be some spoilers when it was first released. And even though my cousin and I went to go see it before its initial release, but I'm not going to be spoiling the whole movie for you. Now, to any of you who are Godzilla and Kong fans as well as kaiju fans, I'd say this would be a great time to be a kaiju fan. I bet you all saw Godzilla -1 from Toho as well. So, here's my review and my thoughts. I did see the movie already with my cousin, and it was sure epic, in my opinion. So here are the critics down here. Some critics love it, others would hate it. Of course, I heard it got mixed reviews. Some people love it, others hated it. I would say the audience loved it, but some of the critics definitely hated it. But of course, you can never trust any critics. Especially from mainstream channels. According to this, discussing film.net, Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire is a rad tribute to the Showa era. And which in my case, some people think it is a tribute to the Showa era of Toho's Godzilla franchise. While some legendary Godzilla films have the seriousness of the Heisei and Millennium era. To most of you Godzilla fans out there, I suppose if you haven't watched the Showa, Heisei, and Millennium era, you should go check them out. Some of you have already watched those eras, and I'd say good on you. Good for you. There's so much more to look at, but I can't show you all. And that's fine, but this is from the deadline right here. Godzilla and Kong grosses $16 million in 2 days overseas. Warner Brothers and Legendary Entertainment's Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire is out. That's from a day ago. And it's roaring at the international box office, generating $15.9 million from markets through its first 2 days overseas. And that's also from Wikipedia, so never mind that. Now, here are some critics that may also hate this movie, but I guess some people who are just miserable and have miserable lives, which is pretty saddening. Well, I guess that's all for the critics. Now, this is the official poster, and it says Godzilla and Kong, which is Godzilla X Kong, but I don't want to get anyone confused. I usually call it Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. And this says right here, rise together or fall alone. And it was already released yesterday on March the 29th, which was about a day ago. So here are the two main characters, the two main monster characters in this film, Godzilla and Kong. And I will show you the villains next. There he is, folks. This is the main villain of this movie, this monster film, and the most epic of all the monster films. This is the Scar King. He's a giant ape monster just like Kong, but he's not. But he doesn't resemble Kong, and he's not similar to Kong. He may be an ape monster, but he's much more different compared to Kong. He has glowing blue eyes, reddish fur, and war paint on his face, as well as a whip slash. Or a whiplash, so how you call it, with a crystal at the end of the tip. And he's not alone. He has an army of giant ape monsters along with a giant reptilian creature named Shimu. Or Shimo, I meant. I bet you guys found that out because of the recent Call of Duty games had the monster paints, has the monster cave painting arts on it in some of the Call of Duty games. I'll look at Shimo just for you in a bit. Oh yeah, in case if I forgot something, I forgot a side monster character. This right there is a little mini Kong, as what everyone calls it. It's an adopted mini Kong, which is a giant little baby juvenile ape who got separated from his family. His family, even though although I'm sorry to say that his family was enslaved by the Scar King, and he is a very evil character if you ask me. He just enslaved his own kind, and he is thirsty to conquer any territory that he comes across. And he tried to conquer Godzilla's territory, which is the surface world, but it didn't work out for him as he expected. That's because Godzilla and Kong teamed up against Shimo and Kong, which I will show you Shimo in a few minutes. And here's the cave art of Godzilla, which is Godzilla battling Shimo. That's from a Call of Duty game, a recent Call of Duty game, so that's exactly what I meant. I'm still looking for a picture of Shimo, the monster herself. So don't you worry. And plus, this is a spoiler-free video, so I'm not going to spoil the whole movie as I said. Okay folks, this is the only photo I can find of Shimo. It sure is a little blurry. You can see the head and the front body. So this is what I got for you. And plus, this Shimo monster is not exactly an evil villain. But in the end, she was saved by Kong when he destroyed the Scar King while he was frozen into place by Shimo. When Kong held the crystal, she breathed her ice breath, so she has icy powers, which is interesting for a giant monster. She froze the Scar King into place, and Kong destroyed him with a single smash, or like a single throw to the ground. And the Scar King was already dead and gone. So the Scar King is defeated and dead. Taken down by Kong. And even though Godzilla helped as well, so Kong wasn't on his own, Godzilla helped him out too. Let me show you a few pictures of Godzilla. So there's a picture of Godzilla in the movie. That's when he let out, before he let out in a nuclear pulse. And a nuclear pulse, so he's not in a burning Godzilla form. He unleashed a nuclear pulse after he absorbed some energy. And then he fought Tiamat in Antarctica. And then rested in Antarctica, turning into his new evolved form, which I will show you in a minute. And there's Godzilla again, this time in his evolved form. Now to some of you who are you confused with the color. Some of you would be thinking like, is that really pink? I've heard that from a YouTube channel called Goji Center, so check them out by the way. That's where the one guy said, Like, is that really like bright pink? Why would Godzilla turn pink in this movie? But of course, it doesn't look like bright pink to me. So according to Goji Channel, he said, the color of the dorsal plates on Godzilla's back are like magenta. So that means it's a bright purple, kind of like a little light purple instead of pink. Just like a mixture of red and blue. And of course, I like this evolved Godzilla design. He really resembles the Millennium Godzilla designs from the 2000 movie. Like the 2000 Millennium movie, as well as Godzilla vs. Megaguirus.